Hello YouTube, today I have a new video for you guys today, and today's video is going to be a little bit different, and the reason that is because you're going to be seeing some gameplay in the background, and I'm actually recording the audio, my voiceover, ahead of actually playing the game. In the background you'll see me playing Star Wars Empire at War, really fun RTS, kind of. The ground version of the RTS is basically a ripoff of StarCraft, which is not very well done, and the space version is actually kind of like a ripoff of Homeworld, which is actually pretty well done. Not as good as Homeworld, but it's pretty well done, and I really like. That's the only reason I play this RTS is for the space. So, anyways, today I'm going to be starting a new series, and let me know what you guys think about this series. This is going to be a Star Wars updates series, and the main point of this series is I'm a big Star Wars fan, and the Star Wars update series will cover all news, include for Star Wars upcoming games and rumors. It'll mainly be focused on the games, but I'll also occasionally cover some stuff about the movies. And if there's really little, not much going on, I'll either do like a review of not a review but news about books and comics, but I don't really want to get too much into the books and the comics because those things come out so often it's hard to keep track. So it's mainly just going to be the games, and then it's going to be the movies and the TV shows. I almost forgot that too. So yeah, let me know what you think about this idea. Next, I have a little script so I didn't forget anything. I can't read my own handwriting. Oh yeah. So this weekend, I might not have any video game pickups videos, and I know a lot of people enjoy those videos. I'm sorry, but they're definitely not to say that one's not coming. It's coming. It's just not going to be on schedule because I might order some stuff offline, and who knows how the mail's going to work out. So that might. So it might take a little bit longer to get another gaming pickups out, so that's why I'm doing this video in compensation for that. Next is I have also wanted to start getting into game reviews. And this will not be like modern game reviews. This will mostly be retro game reviews, not to say that I won't ever do modern games. I probably will. It's just I'll focus on older games that people might have missed is the whole point. Let me know if you guys would be into that. And also at the beginning of every video now I'm going to be asking for Q&A questions. So if you guys have any questions you want to ask me about anything, my personal life, my game collecting tips, how to get started game collecting, just my favorite game in general, leave them in the comment box below, and I'll be sure to write them down and give you a shout out for your question when I post the video of the Q&A. Also, I'm getting close to 200 subscribers. I think I currently sit around 175-ish, and when I get to 200 I plan to do a small giveaway since this is all coming out of my pocket. I just really am super thankful for all my subscribers, and I'm glad that people enjoy my content. So I just thought I'd do a little bit of a giveaway for that. More details will be on that later when I get closer. Alright, so let's get into the actual Star Wars update itself. And the first one is Battlefront news. And you've probably heard this already if you followed Battlefront news closely, but if you don't, Star Wars Battlefront lead director posted a tweet recently about, it's a pretty vague tweet, and I don't really think he meant for it to be any revealing at all, but it just kind of slipped out. And the lead director posted a tweet about his wife coming over to his office and playing the current build of the game he is working on. Now, he is the lead director of the new Battlefront game by the DICE studio. And now he could be also working on a smaller project, but I think main probability is that she played a build of Battlefront. And now it'd probably be really buggy at this point and all that stuff, but you never know. And now I've also held this this belief for a while now that we are going to see some sort of trailer about Battlefront at E3. We saw one last E3, and you don't show a trailer about something unless you have a decent amount started at least. So we're definitely going to see something at this E3, and EA is not one to hold back on hype train, so they're definitely going to be pumping this one up for the new Battlefront game because they know it's going to be a big seller. It's the biggest selling Star Wars franchise, so they're going to be super psyched about that. The next one is EA had picked up the Naughty Dog director from the Uncharted games. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. And she will be working with Visceral Games now, which is under EA. And she will be working on a new Star Wars project, which is really cool. And it also, in relation to that, I forgot to write this one down, but there was also some news that EA is going to be working on an open world Star Wars game. And now that coupled with the fact that they just hired the Naughty Dog director at Visceral Games leads me strongly to believe that I feel like they will be finishing Star Wars 1313. Now, why do I say this? I don't think it's going to be exactly how Star Wars 1313 was going to be before, but I think they definitely might do something with it. The reason for that being is there was already a large portion of that game completed, and they want to get rolling on these Star Wars games as quickly as possible to start cashing in on the license, since I think it's a 10-year agreement or it's a 5-year agreement, so they've only got that duration of time to pump out Star Wars games, and EA knows that Star Wars makes money, so they're definitely going to be pumping out many games as possible for that, and hopefully they're good quality. I really hope there's not any just like quick cash grabs like we've had in the past, like Star Wars Force Unleashed 2, which was horrible compared to the original. And yeah, so 1313, I really think that they might be continuing on with that. Now let's move on to some of my ideas for Battlefront. I've covered this a couple different times now, and I'm just going to reiterate some of the stuff. Some of the stuff you can check back on my old video, back when I thought Spark Unlimited was making Battlefront. But you can check back for even more info on some ideas that I've had. But I have some more ideas, and first one is about customization. Customization, I really think, should be cut down to a bare minimum, if any at all. Because the great thing about the Star Wars universe, and the great thing and the appeal behind the Stormtroopers, is the fact that they have a badass uniform, and it's like one solid uniform. They do have slight variations, but for the most part it's the same uniform. And the reason why I say slight customization is because I'd be okay with maybe like other issued uniforms like the Snow Trooper or the Scout Trooper or the various different clone troops like the 501st and then the other ones, and like the commando clones and stuff. I'd be okay with those variations, but I really don't want to see like color customization. Like pink stormtroopers would be terrible, or like custom helmets, or like many variations of helmets, because then it'll just turn up feeling like Halo instead of Star Wars, and that's something you really don't want for the Battlefront series. At least I don't. Now customization I would be totally okay with would be clan emblems. Now that's something that could fit into the Star Wars universe perfectly, because there's already many legions of stormtroopers and many legions of clones and droids. So clan emblems would make sense to have like somewhere maybe on like the shoulder or the side of the helmet of your trooper. So you could like have invite-only clans, and then the clan could design their own custom logo to put on the side of their helmets or their shoulder pads, which would be really cool. So next idea I have is vehicle support. Now this one has really been something that I've been trying to drive home every single time I talk about Battlefront. I really think they should get some more vehicles in there. There's tons of vehicles in the Star Wars universe, and the previous Battlefront games barely utilized any. If like they maybe utilized 10 in total. Like Battlefront 1 had very limited selection. Battlefront 2 barely added any. They added like the Jedi Starfighter and transport ships, but that was pretty much it. You've mainly only really had the TIE Fighter, TIE Bomber, Interceptor, transports, X-Wing, Y-Wing, A-Wing, and and the droid ships, and that's pretty much it. And the Arc Fighter as well, V-Wing as well. But that's pretty much it. I would love to see some, some of the less talked about vehicles in there, like the B-wing or the some of the other ones, like the Corellian fighters would be cool. The Cloud City fighting, are they fighters or are they scouts? I don't know, but those ships would be pretty cool. Um, various other things like that. Like it would just be a really great addition, and like the TIE tanks would be cool. I think you only really see them in Empire at War, which you might see. You probably won't because I'm playing in space most likely. But yeah, another great point that they really need to try to drive home for is the space to ground combat. This is something that they absolutely have no excuse for not having in there. Now, I don't know how they're gonna do it. Hopefully it's better than the PSP integration of Elite Squadron, because that was pretty mediocre and it really didn't feel like a connected battlefield. The thing that they really need to have, whether it's whether they add in some kind of like buffer zone that you fly through until it finishes loading the other zone or something, they need to have it feel like, not necessarily actually be, but it needs to feel like a seamless transition from the ground to space. Because if you do that, then it will feel like a big connected battlefield, and that is something that you need to have. And it's something that'll look like Free Radical had down, so there really should be no excuse for not having it. And at this point, the expectation is to have that in there. So if they're missing that, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be disappointed with the new game already right off the bat. The last idea I have for Battlefront is there should not be any heroes. Now, I know a ton of people disagree with me, and I know that a lot of people are going to fight me on this one, but I have some good reasons for this. Heroes are going to be really, really hard to balance. Even in Battlefront 2, when heroes were debuted, they were overpowered and everything. But the thing about Jedis and Sith is that even for a Jedi and Sith, even though they were overpowered in Battlefront 2, they still weren't actually as powerful as they were supposed to be. Because the Jedi are supposed to be able to deflect tons and tons of lasers, and that they're supposed to be able to utilize multiple force powers. And I really don't think you're going to be able to capture the full essence of a Jedi in a game like this. And plus, it kind of takes away from the you're a lone soldier on the battlefield kind of feel. So I really think that there should not be any heroes. Not to say that there can't be like a hero-only mode, which would be okay, because then everything would be balanced within that mode. But in terms of normal battles, there shouldn't really be any heroes that would be acquired in the battle, in my idea. And okay, we're moving on to the last topic now, and that is my ideas for the new movies. The new movies, first off the bat, are gonna definitely, they can't make the new movies without the original cast. And it's pretty much, everybody knows this, and that's why I'm getting this one out of the way first. The original cast is pretty much going to be for sure back in the new movie. Now, I really feel like the new movie is going to be based off of their children, and I don't think they're going to go off the Extended Universe books, because from what I've been reading, it feels a lot like they're going to make their own script on this one. So a lot of the EU stuff is going to be pretty much outdated by the time this movie comes out. But they're probably going to be making their own spin on where Luke's children come from, where Han and Leia's children probably, how they're doing and what they're doing. And hopefully they keep some like staples in the series, like a lot of the lightsaber fights. I hope they stay relatively the same, because this will lead into my next point. When J.J. Abrams redid Star Trek, a lot of the staples, in my opinion, that really made me enjoy watching Star Trek, really kind of got ruined in the new ones. Like, I love the old style tactical, space battles. Like, it might not have been fun for everyone to watch, because obviously it wasn't very action-packed as it is now. But I loved you got to see the outside of the battle and see the battle going on, and it goes back to the bridge, and you could hear some commands going out, and you could see the strategy forming behind their attacks and stuff, which was really, really cool. And they kind of lost that with the new one. And that's something that really worries me about J.J. Abrams, among other things, directing this movie, is the biggest worry that I have with J.J. Abrams is lens flare. Now I know this might not be a big deal to some people, but this bothers me a lot, and it will literally ruin the franchise if I see too much lens flare. If you wanted a good example of what I'm talking about, go on YouTube. I'm sure you can find a scene from the original 2009 reboot of Star Trek. Look for a scene on the Enterprise bridge. You'll know what I'm talking about. You're getting glare from the lights, like shiny. You're getting glare from reflection off of surfaces, and just added in glare because they can. And it really just detracts from the movie experience, in my opinion. You're not supposed to feel like you're watching a movie. You're supposed to feel like you're in there, in the action with them. And having a lens flare just reminds you that you're behind a camera, and it's not really happening. And it just kind of really takes away from the immersion of the film for me. And that's why I really, really hope he doesn't go overboard with this lens flare. Now, I know he said he didn't. He won't. But I don't have any faith in him. I really don't. Because 2 movies in a row from Star Trek have been exactly the same, and it's just it really, I can't enjoy the movies. I know it's a silly reason not to enjoy the movies, but I just can't. The way that they made that movie feel, it's not very good. It's just, I don't know. I can't enjoy them with too much of a distraction from the actual story, and too much focus on special effects as well. I hope that they kind of keep the feel of special effects that the other ones had, where it's kind of a mix between CG and actual sets, because so many movies now, are using all CG, and it really, you really can actually tell that it's CG, and it just doesn't feel believable if it's all CG. You never see anything that feels like it's a plausible set, and it just doesn't feel like it's reality. And that's something that will be missing if it's all CG. So I hope they don't go with that, and that's a lot of my worries with J.J. Abrams, because I really don't know how he's going to take this. And he says he's a Star Wars fan, but that doesn't mean he can't take it the wrong way. So last, we're going to talk about spin-offs. If you don't know, they said they will be trying to do some movie spin-offs, sort of like the Wolverine series, how they did with that, with the Star Wars franchise. Now, I think most plausibly that they will be doing Boba Fett, and will be probably the first spin-off. I don't really think they're going to go with Han Solo, because Han Solo is too big of a character, and there's so much already covering his backstory and stuff in the expanded universe that I don't think they'll really go for it, because you can easily make somebody mad by messing up his backstory, and I just don't really think they're going to go with Han Solo. So that's why I think it's going to be Boba Fett, because he's pretty popular. Not much is known about how he learned to be a bounty hunter, other than the fact that his father was a bounty hunter. And I feel like he'll be a really good candidate for a spinoff. And now I also think a really good candidate for a spinoff would be Darth Maul. This is my personal opinion. Well, that's just kind of biased as well, because he's my favorite character in the Star Wars universe. But there's so little known about Darth Maul other than the comics and stuff. And I feel like he has great potential to be a good to have his own movie, because he's a really badass character. He's got the look, he's got a cool fighting style. Now, I don't even acknowledge the existence of the Clone Wars, because pretty much all credibility was lost when they brought Darth Maul back from the dead, because that really lessens the impact of the original movie. So I just pretend that the Clone Wars doesn't exist. And it's not really relevant anyways to myself. So I know a lot of people love that show, but I'm sorry. That's all I really have for this Star Wars update video. Now let me know what you guys think in the comment box below. If you want to see more of these type of videos, let me know. Maybe I'll do some special guests one time or something. Who really knows? But that's all I really had for you guys today. That's all I had written down. I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay in the background. I'll try to make it even up with the sound recording. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Make sure to leave a comment in the box below. Leave a thumbs up, thumbs down. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.